prepared, okay, so a cabinet at standard widths of 1000mm or 500mm, obviously you make most of your stuff that big, so there's a cost saving to be had by having standard, but I'm willing to pay a little bit extra to have a non-standard width at a couple of points in the kitchen, and to be told, yeah, no, we just not allowed to do that. The government won't let us. It's okay. Looks like we managed it at the top. We're just going to blow out the side before we get to the other end. So I'm going to position along this edge. I guess what I can do here is start missing bits there. So we haven't dumped anything into the John Deere yet, so that's good. I think what I'm looking at here is I'll actually do the outside edge, which should get us close to full, and if it doesn't, this will get us past full. Looking at how much we've got here now. Well, I could go back up this, I guess. That bale might get in the way. Ooh. Nope. Awesome. So really got two choices here. I could do along this edge, going up the field, and then cut in when we get to the top. I don't think we're going to make it. I can do this sliver, empty into the cart, and then do a cut in over there, which is, I'm thinking, possibly the better plan. Did I miss a bit at the top, or is that just straw? I can't tell. It's almost on a line with where we're driving though. No, that's is it a straw swath or not? Yes. Okay, I'll lift that up. And go find the grain cart. That sounds like Little Miss Attitude is up. Which typically means she's going to make the former foster kids have cereal while she cooks herself some breakfast. She has been told in the past that's not fair. If you're making something, you should be prepared to make everybody else something. And yeah, maybe around here. Take a left turn, get it lined up on the compass. 2, 1, 0. Go! Where's the baler? Right back there. Alrighty, so again, I'm not sure I came over far enough. And if I had thought, well, typically when I'm putting GPS on a vehicle, harvesters are good because it makes it a little bit more efficient doing this. I don't have to do a partial, sliver of crop where I haven't measured out precisely. Big tractors are good as well sometimes, although typically the big tractors, I'm using that to seed, to plough, to cultivate. With a plough, it helps to keep the plough straight, and that's all I really use it for. Sprayers definitely, especially if I'm doing herbicide, because I can't see where I've already been. At least with with fertilizer, the mini map in the bottom left will show you where you've been. Alrighty, we're actually going to make it all the way back again. I do like that. Good turn. So let's get that closer to 180. How about that? So yeah, it's usually at least one, if not both, of my mid-size tractors that I'll tend to put GPS on. That said, I'm not sure I actually have GPS on the Fendt, although it is something I would consider. GPS is good on the grass equipment because it keeps the rows straight, and again, it lets me position the mowers so that I'm precisely on a good width. I'm not missing anything, and I'm not leaving extra. I'm not missing anything or leaving it. I'm not leaving anything extra, or making it so I have to go up and down the field more frequently. Which is one of the reasons why the John Deere does have GPS, because it's the prime mowing tractor. Now I'm definitely thinking if we go ahead with our move to Glenleithen on this, basically end this series, start a new one. At that point, I'm probably going with smaller tractors, so things like that John Deere, which is getting on for high 500 horsepower, and pretty much anything over 250, maybe 300 at a stretch, does mean that we wouldn't be able to run the butterfly mowers. So we'd be doing a side and front mower setup, and we would have to windrow everything. So it would be a smaller, slightly smaller equipment series. that's the right way, yes. However, part of my thoughts for that is if we find we can't perform the work sufficiently quickly, I would be looking at buying more smaller equipment than replacing the small equipment with large equipment, which is a twofold good thing. Large equipment tends to be significantly more expensive. If we go to, oh, they sold some stuff. If we go to cedars, see that's 33,000. It's 3 meters. 4 meters for 50,000. Comparatively, I'd be looking at 45. That's 3 meters. But you get to this one, it's 8 meters. That's twice as big as that one, and 3 times the price. More than 3 times the price. So sometimes buying 2 4-meter cedars might be a better deal than buying an 8-meter. But you need 2 tractors, but then you probably have 2 tractors. So it's... We are 80% complete here. That is good. But again, you know, a smaller lower capability tractor costs significantly less than a higher capability tractor again. So again, I didn't give quite so much enough room on that side. So if we go back and look at, let's go here, and that is 200 horsepower. Well, let's not do that. Let's just say that's 150 horsepower. That's 200 and 50% more. So 25% more horsepower for 50% more money. That's 225, 205, what's the Q? 230, 250. See, that's 250 for 220, so you're talking almost double the price. Oh, that sucks. Kind of messed that up, didn't I? But you see where I'm getting at. Yeah, I can get 2 relatively capable tractors for the same price. I can get one with just 50% more horsepower. So, you know, would I really want to go that way or not? I mean, obviously you need more storage room if you've got 5 tractors rather than 2 big ones. But your 5 tractors gives you a little bit more flexibility in what you're able to do at a given time. So if I've got 3 seeders, I could have 3 tractors out seeding. But I could have 2 tractors out seeding, 1 out spreading manure, another one out carting grains, and another one out cultivating. So it's a little bit more flexible. And as I finish cultivating all of the fields, I can then put that tractor into work on seeding. So it's a little bit more flexibility, but we're going to either have to use more workers, or I'm going to have to learn how to use courseplay, which is probably something I'm going to think about doing, because Glenleithan, like this map, has the Alien Gym hedge rows, which workers have a little bit of grief trying to cope with. Okay, this is going to fill us. I think what I'm planning on here is we'll just keep going. fill up the harvester because it's going to be almost empty. Obviously, we've got the rest of this row. We've got a complete mess over to our left. We've got a full row over to our right. We're not going to get this field done. Oh, actually, that's a little bit less empty than I expected it to be. There's my tea. Okay, that's the tea gone. So on with the carpentry projects. We have actually completed all of the planters for this year. We're considering, Mrs. Osa said she wants 2 more next year. And I might try and work up a method to hitch a clothesline to it so that she can hang the clothes out to dry on hot days. It's been something she's been, oh, I want a clothesline, and I kind of figure that with the weight of a planter, with all the dirt in it and everything else, that should give us enough of an anchor point for a clothesline. I may need to brace it on the front so that it doesn't tip, but that's the plan for next summer. So all of the outdoor projects for now are done. She would like some I can't remember if she wants deck furniture or patio furniture. The difference being one's upstairs on the deck, the other one's underneath the deck on the patio. But I might start looking up YouTube videos for ideas on how to build that stuff, because it's not significantly different from the planters I've made. Pretty much uses the same, the same dimensions of lumber. But for now, I've now got enough 1x4s to make another bench for the railroad. I did buy a 4x4 because that's all that will fit in the van. Plywood board sheet, whatever. So I can now, obviously not this weekend because we've got stuff happening, but I think from possibly next weekend in the afternoon, when I'm not cutting grass, I could take a look at assembling another bench and starting to work on the track bed. My thoughts have been, and I don't know if this is going to work out, but I've been thinking of using a sheet of ply and then putting some insulating foam on top of it, and then a cork track bed, which should result in less sound transmission. Typically the problem is your track sits on cork, sits on a sheet of plywood, and the sheet of plywood reverberates as electric motors run over the top of it, and so you always get a rumble. Now, I did see someone who decided to tear up their old layout, put down a new one, and they had used sheet of ply, sheet of foam, and they weren't happy with it. So I'm not sure why they weren't happy with it. But that may be part of the engineering of his project. Can I make it to the end? Oh, yeah. we'll have to see where that goes. What I was considering for the sound, where I put in a rail bridge over a road or a river or something, I would not put the foam piece, so I would build the bridge structure out of lengths of wood, but put the cork track bed and then the track on top of that, so that when a train goes over the bridge, there's actually transmission of sound, which is what happens in real life. I was looking at the mini-map and seeing a tractor image to my left and thinking, oh, did the baler stop? No, the baler's got a little steering wheel icon because it's got a worker in it, so we don't have an issue there. Of course, I could use the vehicle inspector to see that I have the expected 2 vehicles running situation. So this will, as soon as we're full, not sure we'll make it to the end. I think we will. Nice. So I'll be able to start this last run. We'll take the... She's cooking something. I think. Certainly sounds like something's hissing on a griddle. Okay. We can turn that off. Send the worker home and turn that off. And this should put us to about 30% done. It's a lot of bales. That is a frightening number of bales, considering they're 11,000 litres each. So probably we'll go get the Fendt, we'll do the auto load thing with the Roland trailer, which I have discovered will take 28 bales no matter, or 28 round bales no matter what size of bale you're doing. So 125, 150, 180, it will stack them in a way as to get 28 bales, which is good. It does mean, when I saw how it was stacking the 150s compared with the 180s, I thought, oh, I'm not going to get as many bales on, which then means you have to do math. Okay, if I can get 28 medium bales or only 24 large bales, how big's a medium bale, how big's a large bale, what's the most efficient way of transporting this? But since it's always 28 bales, the biggest bale you can stick on it is going to be the most efficient. Alrighty. If she's cooking something, I'm going to check. Excuse me a minute. Nah, she's just running the water. she'll typically clean the cutlery and the plates, but she won't clean a skillet when she uses it. And the microwave is a complete horrendous mess, but I don't use the microwave. I will either broil my stuff or bake my stuff. The only time I do microwave things is the sort of, what are they? Sort of the microwave dinner bowls. Things like the chicken cheesy rice from Mary Callender's or something like that. Those I'll put in the microwave. But most other things I prefer baked rather than nuked, so I don't use the microwave. So when I actually do use the microwave and look inside, and it's just sort of, there is food all over the inside of this thing, and there's only one person in the house that uses it. And in spite of the fact we have a kettle, so you can boil you can boil some water to have a cup of tea or to, do whatever. She'll stick a cup in the microwave or a bowl in the microwave with water and heat it up that way. Frankly, I hate the taste when it's done that way. I don't know what it is. Okay, we are 91% transported. And we should have about 2/3 of a load. Maybe a little over half a load.